The clang of steel echoes through the narrow streets of Acre, banners snapping above a city drenched in blood and prayer. At the heart of it rides Richard of England, a king forged not in courtly halls, but on the restless field of war. Crowned with golden lions upon his shield, he carried faith like a sword, sharp and unyielding. Imagine the dust rising as his knights thundered across the Levant, their cries mingling with hymns carried on the desert wind. Richard was not merely a king, he was the embodiment of crusade, a warrior monarch whose strength struck fear in enemies and awe in allies. Yet his courage was tempered with ferocity, a ruler who would command the massacre of captives when oaths were broken. The Lionheart fought not for peace, but for triumph, his spirit consumed by the holy city of Jerusalem that lay always just beyond his grasp. His duel with Saladin was not of blades alone, but of will, two titans of faith locked in a contest neither could fully claim. In camp, Richard lay stricken with fever, yet even from his bed he dictated orders, his voice carrying the authority of fire. His men spoke of him as larger than life, a figure who could rally despair into defiance with a single word. But while he carved glory in the east, his kingdom in the west slipped into shadow, his throne in England often no more than a memory. Richard's heart belonged not to governance but to battlefields, where the clash of lances spoke louder than laws. He returned at last, scarred and restless, only to face fresh wars in France, his sword never allowed to rest. It was not the might of armies that ended him, but an arrow loosed from the walls of a minor castle, striking down the lion in the dusk. His body was buried at Fontevraud, yet his heart was carried to Rouen, as if even in death he could not be contained by one grave. To his enemies he was relentless, to his followers he was near divine. A king remembered less for rule than for legend. Walk the ruins of Acre or the quiet cloisters of Normandy, and his presence lingers like the sound of distant trumpets. A monarch of flesh, yet myth in memory, crowned by war, bound by faith. His was a reign of triumph and tragedy, of conquest without peace, of devotion without rest. And in the echo of battle, Richard the Lionheart still rides, a king eternal in the dust of crusade.